Back here, we're talking the 49ers now. Easily the biggest mystery going into the draft. Remember, they moved up from 12 to 3. They trekked through all the buzz around Mac Jones. And then they end up selecting North Dakota State quarterback Trey Lance. All right, Nick, did the 49ers get this right?
I think they did. And I'm angry at myself for not sticking with the courage of my convictions from a month ago, when I refused to buy into any of the Mac Jones hype. Brandon got this right yesterday. Right. I wavered at the last second. But I think the Niners got this exactly right. Because, as we discussed yesterday, they can now follow what was a wildly successful model in Kansas City from just a few years ago, which is you have a stable, legitimate, starting NFL quarterback on a reasonable contract with multiple years left on it. And you are drafting a raw, super high ceiling first round pick that you traded up to get, who theoretically could play his rookie season, but absolutely does not have to. And he can learn the system. He can, absorb the Kyle Shanahan offense and information, and he can sit under a professional in Jimmy Garoppolo, who, if Jimmy G plays poorly, or more likely, if he gets hurt, he can step in. And if everything goes well for the Niners and Jimmy G plays all year like Alex Smith did for the Chiefs, and even if they make the playoffs like Alex Smith did with the Chiefs, you then trade Jimmy Garoppolo in the offseason and Trey Lance takes over. So you cannot justify trading 3 first-round picks to draft a low-ceiling quarterback because you are frustrated with your low-ceiling quarterback. That's why the Mac Jones thing would have been, to me, such a wild miss, even if Mac Jones ends up being good. This made a ton of sense. I think they got it absolutely right. And I think they are absolutely, Brandon, not obligated to trade Jimmy G. And I think you wait and see how Trey Lance looks in the offseason and preseason and into the year. And I think they're comfortable trading Jimmy G 11 months from now before next year's draft.
Yeah, I mean, Trey Lance and Justin Fields are going to be tied together for the remainder of their careers in the National Football League. That's what it came down to, is these two guys. Mac Jones, he's going to have a good career. He landed in a good spot. I'm excited to watch what he does in the next couple years. But at the end of the day, it came down to these guys. They fit the Shanahan scheme and offense perfectly. And what ended up happening was, you see the film, you go out to the pro day, you see the workouts, and both of them pop. But there's some real concerns when it comes to Justin Fields' recall. And that's what I'm hearing. That's what I'm finding out, digging a little deeper yesterday. Why is this guy sliding? Why would the 49ers pass up on him? Why would the New York Jets pass up on him? Because in the National Football League, you got guys out there, man, that's throwing so much at you. These defenses are complex. They're sophisticated. And you have to be able to see it right away. We're talking about in a split second and make the right decision. You can't go out there and turn the ball over. What do we always say on this show? Ball security is job security, yours and mine. And we talk about the biggest differentiator between wins and losses in the National Football League is protecting the ball. You have to know what you're doing pre-snap. You have to know what you're doing post-snap once you're in your drop. And when you look at Justin Fields, the recall just wasn't there. So they made the right decision. And like Nick said, Trey Lance probably has the biggest upside. This dude pops. His smile pops. Everything pops, Jenna.
Wells, can I ask you a question? I want to dive a little deeper into Jimmy Garoppolo, because you were banging the drum for him to come to New England, and now it's looking like they may actually keep him for the year, a la what Andy Reid did with Alex Smith and Patrick Mahomes. What does all this mean now for Jimmy G?
Well, Jenna, it's time for me to bid adieu to Jimmy G once again. It's better to have loved and lost
there it is.
to never love at all. And I was in love with Jimmy G, Nicholas. And I thought he was coming back. But nevermore. So now I think he has an opportunity to play well. And I think it can follow the Alex Smith narrative. The question is, what's the market for Jimmy G? And can he somehow salvage his reputation, even though he went 24-9 in his tenure with the 49ers. And the most interesting thing, I think, is this, Nick. If I was Jimmy G.
It's perfect for what they're trying to do. I'm shocked he was there. I think it's an excellent pick by the Lions.
All right, my answer is from a report from Susie Colbert on ESPN's Draft Show. She said that she talked to Urban Meyer and said it's not a guarantee that Trevor Lawrence starts week 1. And I thought we all assumed that he was going to go the Joe Burrow route. He was been ready to start in the NFL for maybe even last year. But the interesting note is this. Urban Meyer had Alex Smith at Utah, and Alex Smith was thrown to the Lions week 1, and they always kept in contact. And Urban saw how that sort of hindered his development. So I thought the biggest surprise, Jenna, was that Trevor Lawrence is not a guarantee to start week 1.
I honestly didn't even think the Jaguars had another quarterback on the roster.
Yeah, I can report. Hold on. I'm reporting Trevor Lawrence starting week 1. I'm reporting that.
Okay.
Sorry, but it's
surprising.
Does anyone even know who the backup is? Let's talk some Bears now. They moved up 9 spots to 11. They grabbed Ohio State quarterback Justin Fields in the hopes that he's the franchise guy they've been trying to find for about 270 years, give or take. Brandon, the Bears trading up to draft Fields was blank.
Dream scenario. I mean, there's jobs on the line. Everyone's underperformed in Chicago for a very long time. Ryan Pace hasn't gotten the job done. You know, they tried to give up everything. They tried to give up the damn bean on Michigan Avenue to the Seattle Seahawks to get Russell Wilson, and they still couldn't get it done. They tried to give up real estate. They tried to give up Lakeshore Drive, and they couldn't get it done. And then they go get Andy Dalton to fill in the gap. But then you have Justin Fields sliding. Now, a lot of things we didn't talk about. We didn't talk about, you know, his medical condition. We didn't talk about, you know, some of the things that was coming out where, you know, he didn't process and his recall wasn't great for a couple teams. But now you got a guy who slid, but who can get it done. He is a smart guy. This dude can make all the throws. He's a leader, and he's ready for that city. So, you know, this is a dream scenario for a team to try to give up everything to Seattle to get a quarterback, and it didn't happen. So good job, Chicago Bears, for being lucky.
I agree with all of what Brandon is saying. And by the way, the bean would have looked great right alongside the Space Needle. I'm surprised Seattle didn't take that deal. Before I give my answer, though, I've got it. Jenna, you said it's been 270 years since the Bears had a quarterback. Mike Greenberg last night, all night, was saying it's been 100 years since they've had a quarterback. The Sid Luckman erasure must end. It's only been 70 years, guys. It's just 70 years since the Bears have had a quarterback with Jay Cutler mixed in. Sorry, Brandon. But my answer is the Bears trading up draft Justin Fields was a life raft because Ryan Pace has been out there. Mike Glennon, oh no, I'm drowning. Mitch Trubisky, oh my God, I just grabbed an anchor. Andy Dalton, oh sweet Jesus, what have I done? And now he's got a life raft. They just have to be mediocre, and he gets more time. So I think it's great for Chicago. I don't know if it's great for Justin Fields or not, but Allen Robinson's very good. But for Ryan Pace, a lot of GMs get one shot at the quarterback. Ryan Pace is on his 4th or 5th. I think he finally got it right. So it's a life raft for him, Wild.
You forgot about him.
Oh, Foles, I forgot about Foles.
My answer is
you're right.
Yeah, Foles good. Universal approval. One of my favorite parts about sports is the video I'm about to show you, where a group of people finds out something at the same time. It's always wonderful. Take a listen. Oh, you know what?
Just describe
we're going to have it later on.